Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, we'll be talking about a significant severe weather outbreak unfolding across the mid-Atlantic and the East Coast, followed by your long-range weather forecast and your full tropical weather update at the end of today's video. But before we get into the video, if you're not a new subscriber to the channel, take the time right now and subscribe to the channel so you get daily weather updates across North America, including southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics on this channel. And also take the time to press the thumbs up button. It definitely helps out with this upcoming severe weather to get the messaging out to as many people as possible that severe weather is on the way and for additional updates. So I do appreciate everybody pressing the like button as well. So let's dive into the weather forecast here today. We have a low pressure system across the southern Great Lakes region starting to occlude as it moves out into portions of the eastern Great Lakes and southeastern Canada. By the time we go into Tuesday, this system is occluding across southeastern Canada up here around the Toronto and Montreal region, with a cold front extending down across the East Coast, bringing nice, pleasant conditions on Tuesday. But before we can get to those pleasant conditions, we have some big thunderstorms to talk about here. The Storm Prediction Center at 8 o'clock this morning went ahead and updated this outlook to include a moderate risk for severe weather. That's a level 4 out of 5 here, folks. So this is more of an upper echelon day for severe weather. So let's dive into the cities impacted here. So if you live in Baltimore, Washington, D.C., the Roanoke, Virginia region, Charleston, West Virginia, down here towards the Knoxville region in Tennessee, I need you folks to be on the highest of alert today for the potential for damaging thunderstorms. This is a level 4 out of 5, a moderate risk. But we don't want to keep out the areas at an enhanced risk. So areas here in the orange like Raleigh down towards the Charlotte region, Asheville, North Carolina, the Atlanta region, Huntsville, getting back down toward Birmingham, all those areas are at high alert for potential of some storms as well. So make sure to stay updated on the weather forecast across this region throughout this afternoon and evening. So let's dive into what these storms could do. So looking here at the biggest threat these storms could pose today will be some strong damaging winds. This could be in excess of 75 miles per hour, especially in this purple shaded area with the hatched marks. So that's from just west of Philadelphia down through Baltimore, Washington, D.C., the Roanoke region, Charleston, down there towards Knoxville. That's where we could see those hurricane force winds today. The second biggest threat will be tornadoes. We have a 10% area of tornadoes from the Maryland region, southeastern Pennsylvania, down here through portions of Charleston, West Virginia there, getting into eastern Kentucky, and portions of western Virginia as well, and even northeast Tennessee. So a big, large area of tornadoes, and this could extend as far south as Atlanta, Huntsville, Birmingham, the Nashville region. So a big area for tornado genesis today is very possible. And then the lowest threat here of the storms could be seeing some quarter-size hail up to 2 inches in diameter, with the biggest hail out here across especially this yellow shaded color from portions of the Delmarva all the way down into the Tennessee Valley. So make sure to stay updated on the forecast as things will be changing throughout today. So let's kind of update you real quick on why we see these storms. So we have a lot of instability, folks, across this region, especially with southward extent. So as far south you go from the mid-Atlantic down to the southeast, that's where those instability values will be climbing in toward the orange and red shaded colors. That's 2,000, 3,000, even 3,500 joules per kilogram. That is a lot of instability. But when you couple that with some very strong winds in the mid-levels of the jet stream here, this is at 500 millibars, just as several thousand feet above our heads here, and they're screaming out of the west-southwest here around 50 to 60 knots. And then when you take into account the low-level jet stream, 850 millibars, this is just a couple thousand feet above our heads. And yeah, they're seeing values screaming of 60 knots up across especially Virginia, West Virginia, into southeastern Pennsylvania today. So that's where that moderate risk is. That's where we could be seeing those hurricane force wind gusts and a lot of tornadoes later on today. So let's walk you through the timing of the storm. So early this afternoon, we're going to see a broken line of very big thunderstorms here from southwestern Pennsylvania through the heart here of West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, into eastern Tennessee. Each one of these storms will be likely to pose the risk for hurricane force wind gusts, tornadoes, and large to very large hail across this region early this afternoon. By the time we get to late afternoon, this is peak daytime heating now, and a solid line of very intense thunderstorms will be moving through the enhanced and moderate risk areas from New York State down through Pennsylvania here, getting through much of Virginia. That's where the strongest storms will be late this afternoon from Maryland down into Virginia and western North Carolina. We will likely have embedded tornadoes within this line, and they will likely be rain wraps. So don't go out and look for tornadoes because you're not going to see them today, because these are a lot of heavy rain producers, and those tornadoes will be hidden inside the rain. And then as we go through the evening, this whole entire line of storms will be pressing to the east coast and off the coast by mid to late evening, and will put an end to the severe weather threat here as we go toward the midnight time frame. And I just want to let you know, your safe place from tornadoes is always a basement, but if that is not available to you, an interior room without windows can also be protective. If you receive a tornado warning today of any kind, take shelter immediately, whether it's radar indicated, a tornado on the ground, or anything like that. Either way, make sure to take shelter immediately, because these storms will be dangerous later on today. All right, so we just wanted to be straightforward with the messaging. And then, yeah, behind that, we have another storm system. During the middle of the week, you can see a short wave with the vorticity. This just shows the spin in the atmosphere moving across the northern Rockies. You can see that little divot here. That's what we call a short wave, and that's going to be moving across the Rockies on Tuesday, and then diving down into the Central Plains and the Ozarks in the Missouri region on Wednesday, and this will spell out the next chance of severe weather. So looking at the temperatures today, yeah, we're going to talk more heat across Texas and the desert Southwest. Triple digit temperatures today. We're up to 105 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area this afternoon. And then as we go into Tuesday, tomorrow, much of the same. That short wave is going to be moving in over the top here of that ridge across the northern Rockies, and then slipping down to the southeast into the Missouri Ozarks region on Wednesday, right just to the northeast of this heat dome. And it's going to have plenty of energy, folks. Look at the heat to the south. We're at 106 in Texas here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 108 in Wichita Falls, and even 99 pressing 100 degrees there in Oklahoma City. And just to stay away, yeah, we're going to be seeing some severe weather. So on Tuesday, a slight risk is introduced by the Storm Prediction Center across Nebraska, northeast Colorado, into northwestern Kansas, as well as down here into southern Alabama, southern Georgia here. This will mainly be for some very large hail that could be in excess of 2 inches in diameter, especially with this westernmost slight risk area, as well as a couple of tornadoes and damaging winds. But then we turn to Wednesday, and it gets a little bit more interesting. As the short wave slips to the south and east across the Missouri Ozarks region, it's going to have a lot of instability to tap into. You can see the purples and pinks here. That's 4,000 to 5,000 joules per kilogram instability, folks. And when combined with very strong wind shear out of the west here, this could be a fairly significant day for severe weather on Wednesday. So after today's severe weather threat, which will be significant, we're going to look for our next significant chance for severe weather Tuesday, and then especially on Wednesday. And the Storm Prediction Center already has the slight risk across this area. So the St. Louis area, back to Kansas City, Springfield, Missouri, the Tulsa region, Memphis, Nashville, down to Huntsville, and even Jackson, Tennessee, the Paducah region. Those are areas of highest concern on Wednesday, and I do feel this will be upgraded to an enhanced risk as we do get closer here, especially for areas into Missouri, northern Arkansas, and into western Kentucky and Tennessee. So we'll continue to watch that as we get closer. And you can see the precipitation signature by Wednesday evening. A nice mesoscale convective system, or what we call an MCS, will be moving its way through the Missouri Ozarks region down into parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley here by Wednesday night, and not only just producing severe weather, but also more of that heavy rainfall. We've seen a lot of rain across Missouri lately. Hopefully we don't see as much rainfall this go around and these storms are more progressive, but definitely seeing some heavy rainfall when these storms do move through. So that could heighten the flash flooding risk as we go into Wednesday night. And overall, the total rainfall accumulation now through your Saturday next weekend on the 12th of August, you can see where the heaviest rainfall with this will be. So with that shortwave moving over the northern Rockies, we could see some rainfall, but it'll really pick up in a big way as once it gets into the Missouri Ozarks, into the Tennessee and lower Ohio River Valley. Wherever you see the reds here, into Kentucky, into Tennessee, northeast Alabama, northern Georgia, parts of Illinois, Indiana, and even West Virginia, that's where we could be seeing a solid 1 to 3 inches of rainfall with isolated higher amounts closer to 4 or 5 inches, definitely possible through next weekend. And then we pick up the rainfall again across the northeast and into southeastern Canada over the next few days, with the Montreal region actually getting another couple of inches through that time frame. But you see where it's dry. It's very hot, folks, from Louisiana to Texas, back through the Four Corners region, Nevada, getting into California and Oregon. It's just so dry, so hot in this region. Unfortunately, we're not seeing much in the way of rainfall through the next 5 to 7 days. And looking at the long range picture for those areas through August 12th and the 16th time frame, where we have more of the northwest flow, below normal temperatures into the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region, it's still going to remain extremely hot across the southeast, especially down here through Texas, the Four Corners region, and then we're going to pick up the heat across the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast as we go through that time frame. More 90s, more triple digits to come here through the next couple of weeks, I feel, and that's going to trend below normal with our precipitation. We're going to have a lot of above normal precip east of the Rockies. So that means more severe weather setups, more heavy rain setups as we go forward through the middle of August there, at least through the 16th time frame. And you can see on the European ensemble guidance, the EPS from Saturday, August 12th through next Wednesday, August 16th, you definitely can see that we're going to be seeing a lot of heavy rain through the long-term period. So any way you slice it, unfortunately, we have a lot of below normal precip here underneath, but a lot more rain over the top still in those same areas that have the flooding that we just saw a week ago into Missouri, into portions of Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky, southern Illinois, and southern Indiana. Looks to be the bullseye for the rainfall towards the middle of August. Turning to the full tropical weather update, we're still keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Eugene, but we also have an area of interest to the south with a 30% chance of development over the next 7 days, just south of that and over the open waters. We're not really too concerned about this because that will be moving westbound. But quickly looking here at Tropical Storm Eugene, it's really starving for moisture here this morning. We're not really seeing a lot of returns on the radar for big convection around this. So that means it's weakening, and it's weakening very quickly. And it will continue to through the day today. And by tonight into early Tuesday morning, this will be down to tropical depression status and really kind of start to fizzle out as we go into the middle of the week. So this is not really that big of a concern. But across the North Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf, we have no new tropical cyclones still expected for the next 7 days. So it's A-OK across this region. However, the Climate Prediction Center, the experts there, are actually signaling a chance for some development potential with their experimental week 3 outlook from August 16th through the 22nd. So as we get into the second half of August, it's showing some favorability here in the MDR region, the main development region, and towards the Caribbean as we go into that third week there in August. So let's take a look at that real quick here. This is, again, 10 plus days out, so this can always change, but we always want to show you the ensemble guidance because it puts all of the members together and shows you the most likely outcome. So this is the EPS ensemble members. This is the European guidance, and you see through Friday, there's nothing happening across North Atlantic, the Caribbean, or the Gulf. So it's A-OK here through the rest of the week. But by the time we start to get into early in the middle portion of next week, toward the middle of August, this is around the Tuesday, the 15th time frame, you start to see a wave come off of Africa here And some of the members are latching on to the potential for some development, although weak, across the MDR region, the main development region well east of the Lesser Antilles on the European guidance. The Canadian guidance, the GEPS ensemble members are kind of in the same boat and a little bit more bullish on this. We'll continue to watch it as we go through the long-term period as we get towards the middle of August for you folks, especially when considering very warm, if not steamy water temperatures across this region. Anywhere you see 26 or higher on this map, that is 80 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer. And once you get into the Western Caribbean, the Western Atlantic, or the Gulf with the 30 plus degrees Celsius water temperatures, that's 90 degrees plus Fahrenheit, folks. So that's extremely warm waters across that region. So hopefully we have no systems develop and we can keep the quiet tropical season going, and we'll keep you updated on that. Well, if you want to follow me on X for additional weather forecast updates, the description is down below, and follow me there at hweather420. I do update on that very frequently. I will be updating it throughout the day with the severe weather today, so make sure to follow me there. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more additional and future updates. Also, leave a like down below, the thumbs up button. I definitely appreciate it. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today, and I hope everybody has a great and safe rest of your Monday out there.